the God I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to Mama Earth, connect out the space.
Well, hello. It is episode number 55 of the Mr. Wiggly Sunday live stream, and we have a super special guest today who I've been nagging for ages to come on and talk to us on the show. So we're very proud to welcome Mr. Nick Batt, the guru and godfather of all things synth, onto the show this afternoon. So thank you very much. Chat room's already overflowing with wonderful people. I'll say a quick hello to all of you guys. I can't even scroll back fast enough. Who was first in? Keith in Watford. Hello there. I hope you're liking your live portrait painting. Get so many music. Hello to you. Sober Synthesist. Hey Tony. Keith in Watford. Magic Box Studios, Tollington, Matt Evans, Moby One, hello to you, sir. Homegrown, Steve Powell, Link to Cat, Matt Evans, I think I've said, Edna's Disco Machine, Grace Griffin, hello to you. Thank you very much for joining. I'll do another shout out in a while because it really is there's a load of people already chatting in there, which is fantastic. Any questions for Nick? If you stick a big Q on the front, certainly in the first half an hour, because I'm on my own, Mrs. Wiggly is downstairs, they're all just all puppied up at the moment, so it's all about the puppy. She'll be up later to keep an eye on the chat. But if you put a big Q on it, I'll try and star it so that we can ask Nick later. You have to take a drink if you mention PWM. That's banned from the show for the evening, unless you really are interested in PWM. I was going to do one of those... what's it called with Stephen Fry, where if you say the cliche, it comes up with the big PWM. But anyway, we shall see. There are going to be some new mods in town. The lovely Wagyu is going to moderate. I have to set them up during this stream, I think, unless Inky can do it. So we'll say hello to all of those guys a bit later on. I'll try and get that sorted. And what else has been happening? Hopefully you're surviving the heat. It's been, I hate to complain about the heat, it's been pretty cool here actually in terms of being in the house, but I know a lot of people are suffering. For some reason we just seem to be kind of in the shade here. If you keep the curtains closed, it's not too bad. So I really hope everyone has survived that. Jonathan R. Cross, thank you very much indeed for the £4.49 super sticker. You, sir, are amazing. And you will be in the draw, that's the thing I was going to say, later today in this stream for these two books. So there is Synth Gems and there is Push Turn Move, courtesy of Andy Books, who won them on Gaz's stream, and they've been sitting around here for a while. Every single person who has donated since the beginning of donations were enabled, which is actually October when I check back on it, is in that and on a big spinny wheel that we'll spin later. So you will be in that. You're very welcome to donate again if you wish, or if you'd like to be on that list during the first part of the stream. All the money goes to Great Ormond Street Hospital, which is an amazing UK hospital for kids. That's actually touched the hearts of quite a lot of people that have been in the chat. And astonishingly, we have raised, as of the beginning of this stream, £5,905, which is over $7,000. Which is an incredible amount to raise for one stream from October, so it's not even a year. It's an insanely wonderful amount of money. Somewhere I think I have a picture of the charity as we stand now. That's £5,905. It's now £5,909.99 that's gone into the bank account. Thank you so much. We'll jump on there in a minute. Will Joseph, thank you, sir. You love to interrupt the introduction. Thank you for the 50 DKK. I think both you and Jonathan R. Cross are already on the list in there. It's absolutely amazing of you to donate, and thank you. You can interrupt the introduction as much as you want with that amazing charity donation. So just to show you, we had 5905, which is over $7,000 there, and they sent Loullamae this amazing certificate when it was only 5423, which was a couple of weeks ago, and there are some t-shirts and balloons on the way. Whoa! Thank you for I always say Maudio. for the €5. Thank you very much, sir. That's very much appreciated. I need to make sure you are on the list. And thank you very, very much to Sasquatch, who is already on the list. If we can hit 6K, I mean, I think we're only about £100 away, so we must be getting close. That would be absolutely brilliant. I was astonished with the $7,000, which just sounds better in dollars. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. So that was a certificate. We're getting some goodies from Great Ormond Street Hospital, and if we can get myself back on the map here, somehow I can turn off that picture, which is lovely, obviously. But Xander Mowbray, who is Moby One's son from the last show, some stickers or something will be on his way to him as well, because he won the quiz with his dad last week. He won it on his own, but he happened to be with his dad. And so obviously we'll get some stuff from Great Ormond Street. They promised to send a few bits through. So astonishing, $7,000 raised. £225 of that was from last week, which included a direct donation from Matt Evans and a huge $50 from Anonymous. So I don't know who to thank. Someone donated directly to the charity. So thank you for that anonymous donation. You really needn't be anonymous. I'd far rather to add you to the Hall of Fame. If you want to donate directly, mrwiggly.co.uk/GOSH, GOSH, for Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. If you donate via Super Chat or whatever here, it's absolutely fine. All the money, including YouTube's take on that, we make up here. So nothing gets taken away from your donation. It all ends up in the right place. Some people would prefer to donate directly on the Just Giving page, which you can get there. So, whoa! Just managed to get to the end, $4.99. Thank you very much, Get So Many Music. Thank you for being such a fabulous guest. And you're still looking for a new trainer. Yes, I do apologise for the connotations of that horn. I still haven't managed to replace it. It's my top task. I know that can be offensive to some people. I do apologise. I tried to retune it and it still kind of sounds like it should. So please apologise for that. And hopefully you see it in a positive fundraising epically kind of way that it's intended. And also, Matt, I think I missed you. Thank you very, very much indeed for the super sticker. And David Surchek with $20 for the super sticker as well. There's so much money coming in. I think we must have smashed $6,000 now. Anyway, if I can just hold on just for 1 second and we can introduce the person you've actually all come here to say hello to, the most wonderful, enigmatic, incredible daddy synth of all, Mr. Nick Batt!
Dom, that's very kind. As I said in your intro, I don't know how. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to live up to that. I'm going to have to really sort of up my game. I mean, the energy level, considering the heat and stuff. I can press a button though. Yeah. There we go.
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes,
I'm back in the club. Hey, you got almost the your symbol lasts long. Yeah, I'm good. It's been very, very hot today, but what else is new? I bought myself a maximum minimum thermometer from the local DIY shop, and I've been obsessing about it. And I think it hit 33 today in the shade in my garden. So
Wowzers.
It's hot. But I've moved all my production home, so I can do this because there's no way I'm going to the studio. It's too hot there.
So you've got a home podcasting setup going on with, I think you said, the new thing from Rode, right? This little.
Oh no, it's
Rode,
it's a PodTrack P4, which is Zoom. It's what we use in our new live rigs, that little thing, but it's just it seems to sound better than anything else I've got.
It sounds brilliant. I don't know if other people check the audio of the streams and stuff, but it sounds amazing. So it's this little Rode thing. Doesn't even have an input level or something. It just balances.
No, it does. It has 70 dB a gain, which is it. But I was finding that my voice sounded quite grainy, and I couldn't figure out what the hell it was. And so I tried this because I thought actually I could use this for other stuff. And
no, it sounds brilliant. Sounds absolutely super. Well, we're going to do a quiz in 15 minutes, so that's absolutely fine. There's a few questions popping up. There'll also be, after the quiz, we'll give away these books, so do feel free to donate some more money as long as we can get some words in edgeways. I caught a couple of cues going past. Let me see if I can catch them back just to get some early questions going. Has Nick, from Moby One, he was on the guest on last week, has Nick ever lusted for ages for a certain synth, then when eventually he got his hands on it, he had a massive anticlimax?
Well, oh, blimey.
Whoa! Two at once. Hold that.
Oh, look at
thought
that!
just for a
Look at the
second.
money's piling in. If I
What?
just don't speak, I reckon you'll be able to do as much as you put. I think you'll be doing great on that. Rake
Rob
it in.
Fat Dust Hex, thank you so much. As I said, it would be cheaper to get double than finally get Nick on. Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Mike Metley, $30. Books and the two other books, and best wishes for the contest, Mr. Wiggly. We are glad to help you and Loullamae in this wonderful charity. Well, thank you, sir. If you didn't realise, Dr. Mike Metley is responsible for Synth Gems 1. With a forward from the amazing Vince Clarke as well. And he's an absolutely humongous brain when it comes to history of synths and all sorts of stuff. He's also the guy that decided what went in and what stayed out. So that's always up for interesting conversation, I think, when he was on Pro Synth, but that's cool. Thank you very much indeed for the donation, Mike. Dr. Mike, rather. And I think I missed one. Hopefully we'll find it back. Anyway, yeah, your anticlimactic synth.
I think that this is a bit weird because I mean, obviously, given that my opinion about synthesizers can be seen as influential, shall we say, but I think I don't know if I was looking forward to it so much, but definitely when the Moog 1 arrived, I was like, "Whoa, this is going to be." This is going to be a very impressive. Oh my God! Look at what Kent's just done.
Hold the thank you for the $10. What? The Kent Spong. Thank you.
Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong?
He is the dude. Kent, thank you so much. You are amazing.
Excellent.
Ben Breslin, €20.
Nice.
Kent, I actually thank you very much, Ben. The support is incredible. I think almost all of you are already on the list. I'm going to go back and check it in a second before we spin it, but thank you. Kent, I sent you a message earlier because you asked for portraits and gave more money to Loullamae thing for the live portrait drawing, but then I never asked you what the portrait should be. You said you wanted like 4 pictures, so I presume they're kind of dog oriented. But do give us a shout if you can, and we'll try and get that sorted. Anticlimactic synths.
Yeah, well, I was at the Moog 1, I think, and I'm afraid because it was supposed to be the biggest possible. You know, it was supposed to be the mega synth, huge poly. I think we got the 16 voice in, and it was just a bit disappointing. Unfortunately, I just didn't really get, because usually when I review a synth, I'm kind of like I like to connect with it somehow. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It was just disappointing, maybe from the amount of build up that it had.
Sure.
And from a technical point of view, I don't think they'd got it quite right. And for the sort of money they were charging, I was like, yeah, this isn't. I wouldn't take this on the road. It would be out of tune, and it would just be embarrassing to play at the time. I think they fixed a bunch of that stuff, but I don't think it's been the marvellous pinnacle of electronic engineering that it was hoping it would be.
No, I mean, and all the chat online and stuff about it at the time was this is just this is what we've been asking for years. It's going to be incredible. Everyone loves it, and then suddenly it went a little bit quiet, and it's only now maybe coming back a little bit with the recent tuning updates and that kind of stuff. But that is it's a chunk of cash to be investing in something.
And
like
I think also, to be fair, it shows how difficult it is to make a polyphonic analog synthesizer because they're not easy, and not even. I mean, if not even Moog can do it right. I mean, there's a lot of voices in there, so it's quite a challenge.
Yeah.
But I think I would probably go for, digital oscillators, or certainly less analog oscillators if I was going to make one myself, because I think it would just make it a little bit easier, because it's just so hard. It's so hard to do.
Yeah, well, Kent's been looking at his anaglyph that he's been talking about building for a long time, which came back on the radar, which would be the ultimate analog synth. But I think he's been bitten a little bit with chip shortages and stuff, because doing repairs like he's been doing has been a nightmare from what he's been telling me. Just a chip that was costing him £3 is 30. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Tell me about it. I bought some wood to make a bin store out the back just last week, and I thought it was going to be £40. It was £100, and I thought it's like a few sticks of a few pieces of wood and some featherboard.
It's like
shocked.
Kind of an excuse. I mean, I guess some things must have to go up, but it does feel a bit like an excuse for kind of chucking
containers. It all comes in containers. That's why. And containers have gone up from £4,000 to £12,000 to fill a container and stick it on a boat.
Oh wow! So you're paying 3 times as much
just for that. Okay. Just for that.
All right. So did you buy it in the end?
I did. I bought it and I built it.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so let's have another quick look. Do you listen to newish music, and if so, who do you reckon is okay? Says
You
Tollington.
know what? This is the question that I dread because it just highlights how out of touch and how grandpa-ish I am and have become. To be honest, no, I don't really go and see. I should, but I don't really often get the chance to listen to new music. If I hear something and I like it, I go, that's good, but I don't generally spend a lot of time listening to music. Most of my listening time, I tend to listen to sort of podcasts and audiobooks now, these days. I think it's because, well, you must find this as well, Dom, a career in the music business when you've been listening to the same track maybe, 1,000 plus times, you sort of tend not, at least for me, it turns me off listening to music for pleasure, which I think is a great shame. I'm not sure if it's totally just me or whether other people get the same stuff, but I don't run away. I don't turn it off when it's on or anything. But
no, I think you do, especially you've worked as not as a session musician. Well, yeah, as a session guy, I guess, in the past, working for long-term clients. And I think for me, when you had to analyze stuff constantly, so working for different artists, particularly DJs on dance mixes and stuff, they would literally potentially put something on and go, right, that's the vibe I want. So you'd be analysing and breaking down everything in there. So I find myself analysing everything musically that I listen to. So I was like, oh, what's that kick drum? Or how's that hat pattern working? Or what was that noise there? Which takes away the enjoyment of listening to the tune. So I listen to a lot of spoken word stuff as well. But I make a point of listening to charts on Spotify and obscure playlists and stuff to try and keep up.
Good idea.
And that's
at least if I'd done that, at least I could have thrown a couple of words in there that made me seem like I've got my finger on the pulse a bit, right?
What's amazing on Spotify is if you listen to, say, the UK top 50 singles or albums, they don't change much because it's self-generating. As soon as you're in the 50, a lot of people listen to the top 50 and then push you straight into the top 50. And so Killers has been in there for about 4 years or something. It's ridiculous.
It's weird. That's weird because when I was a kid and when I was working in it, the charts were a great measure, or at least it was a great. You get something back. You kind of go, oh, what's the chart position of my song or the song that I maybe had something to do with, and it was a great measure. But now it's kind of hard to. You don't get those places where that can be measured in the same way. At least, I mean, I wouldn't know where to find them. Put it that way.
No, totally. And the one that actually makes me giggle a bit is the. What's it for? Is it the Legacy? There's a chart that's. It's not the. I'll think of it and I'll.
It sounds dangerously close to vintage rock. Yeah.
It is. It's the
classic,
one that if you were in a band in the 70s, it's got a brilliant name because it sounds perfect. And it's I'm going to find it. If anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about, but I get pinged messages on Facebook from artists that had 70s hits saying, "Oh, go and vote for us in the Legacy chart." Although it's not Legacy, and what it turns out to be, and a lot of people have started doing this because it's a form survey set up by ex-Radio 1 Slightly Strange DJ Mike Reed. And that's the chart, and it's on this page on Mike Reed's site, just next to pictures of Mike Reed with some fairly, strange.
He just
people.
Couldn't let it go, could he?
Yeah, no, exactly. And he's built up this chart, which is actually get all your friends to vote for it, and you'll be in the top 10. It's just absolutely crazy. Anyway, more questions for Nick, because I've probably missed most of the cues that have whizzed off up the screen. So post them again if you haven't posted them already. Do hit like.
I can't affect them, can I? I can't click on them as they go past.
No. No. I don't know. Maybe.
Lady Aptitude I've got here. It feels a bit weird asking myself the question. Lady Aptitude, take us back to your roots. What led you to music? Your instrument, first influences, first band, life performance.
Oh my God, that's the first question I was going to ask. Oh, here it is.
Right,
so
there you go. You got it now.
Yeah, we've got 10 minutes before the quiz.
Summarise your entire pre-Sonic State life.
I was going to say
under 10 minutes.
Schoolboy Nick. Did you always want to be a pop star? What was the Schoolboy Nick take on life when you hit that sort of 14, 15 mark?
Good question. Well, I think I was probably into punk or that kind of stuff, like everybody in my age was, and. I think when Depeche Mode came along and I think it was New Life was the first time, and I just thought, wow, this is good, because I started off listening to probably dreadful rock music like Aerosmith and whatnot that was just sort of friends of friends who'd played it, and this is good, whether it was Deep Purple, and then but musically I'm trying to think. I mean, I started to just I was really into playing the drums, and I wanted to play the drums. I didn't get to play the drums until much later on. I mean, I can't play the drums, but I didn't get my hands on a drum kit till later. But my first synth was I rented a Korg micro preset from the local music shop.
Oh, wow.
And took it home and sort of jammed with a couple of mates. My friend wanted to play bass, and he really, really wanted to be Mick Kahn. And we were all, but we were all listening to kind of like Zappa and Weather Report, like impossibly difficult music to play, you know. So I suppose that was the early part, sort of getting a bit stoned as a late teenager, and then playing, you know, listening to that sort of music, and then jamming and not being able to play it, and then getting it, and then pop came along, and that was like, wow, some of that was really good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, and that was a Korg preset,
micro preset.
Right. Okay. I can't remember what those things.
It's like basically had a little box on the end with a couple of buttons, and it was very basic, but it was like a lead mono synth instrument.
Oh, okay.
It sounded terrible. I don't know. And even worse because I was playing it and didn't know what I was doing.
It's going to be worth a fortune by now, I'm sure. Just because it's old.
Yeah, it's got a green. I don't know what. Yeah, it wasn't a particularly. Didn't look that.
So, how long did the band last?
Well, various incarnations. We actually we spent quite a lot of time jamming and playing a bit. We got sort of in the local scene. There was a band who'd got signed, or were trying to get signed and doing it properly with all the right hairstyles and all the 80s stuff. And then there was basically. We did a few gigs and everybody was like, oh, and they got really uppity because we were getting popular and they thought they were the cool guys, and they were the cool guys, we weren't. So, you know, and then the band split up and it all kind of went pear-shaped, and then I got into just sort of playing on a 4-track in my bedroom.
Nice. I think that's how a lot of people did it. Certainly most of Bristol were doing that when it was all pub rock. When I was doing my A-levels in Bristol, it was a bit of a pub rock scene. And then we realised about sort of 5 or 6 years, obviously you're Bristol, but after that everyone had just been in, the cool guys had been in their bedrooms like Massive Attack making these amazing music. And
Smith and Mighty,
slowly.
Of course,
Smith,
the beginnings of... Yeah. They Smith and Mighty probably... I mean, the Wild Bunch and Massive Attack were massive, obviously, in Bristol. Yeah. But Smith and Mighty were... the really cool guys.
I remember them. That's Robin definitely worth going down that the Google rabbit hole on those two. I remember when in the kind of slight pub rocky band that we had at the time, recording at a kind of a community recording studio that had been established, and those guys, Smith and Mighty, were behind sort of that. They'd been doing all their stuff there, but it was really good, really cool, really different, really. The first
was it Red Stripe? What was the studio called?
Yeah, there was one called Red Stripe. It wasn't that one. I was only there for a couple of years, and there were a few.
You would have been there around the same time as because I was doing a lot of sound in Bristol at the time as well.
Oh, okay.
Bands. I did there was a band called the Federation. I did the sound for them for a long time.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
There was a band called Davidge, Neil Davidge, who went on to produce Massive Attack and recorded Teardrop. I mean, you know. If you did that, that's it. I mean, okay, I'm done. So I think Teardrop is quite possibly the most seminal piece of track from that time. It just Liz Fraser's voice is just like an angel.
That might have been just after me. I worked at the London Rock Shop, which was a synth shop at the top of Union Street, which was up there for a while, and then I kind of drove it into the ground by not being very good at selling, to be fair.
Discounting all the products for yourself.
I did get a lot of stuff on there, on staff discount. So I think if that wasn't there, then it was probably just after that period of time, by which time I'd kind of fled and moved to London and was trying to get into the scene down here. But
I didn't know you had a background in Bristol. That's really interesting.
My mum's side of the family came there forever, and then when I was 15, we moved back to Bristol, and I went to Bristol.
This explains Gaz. When we met at Chic, said, I met this bloke who lives down the road and he knows Dom and his family really well. He knows his mum. And I'm like, okay, wow.
But it's worse than that. It was a conversation on Sonic about this nuclear bunker that I'd ended up being involved with buying. I don't you remember saying, and we were thinking of a studio. We made a secure hosting environment, and it turned out Gaz had been on the list of buyers trying to buy it at the same time. So he happened to mention this to his opposite neighbour, who said, "Oh yeah, I know Dominic." It just got even worse.
Yeah, wow, you can't get away from it, can you? Yeah,
no, indeed. Inky, the wonderful cat, who is our moderator at the moment because I haven't found the button to authorise more mods. What's your favourite synth jam setup?
Ooh, that's tricky. I'm a partial. I was partial to the Pittsburgh SV1 as the sort of synth voice, but the new oscillator, if I'm going to use any sort of modular stuff, the Captain Big O, which is Create Audio, is a really, really good. It's like a Pittsburgh modular oscillator, but 50% better than the Pittsburgh one. It's not because it's made by Richard Nicol, the same guy. So one of those. I'm quite partial to the Zoom MS70 CDR at the moment, or a looper. I might use the looper, which is the 505 Mark II, which I've got under my arm. And I was looking. What was I looking at the other day? I was looking at something the other day and thinking I really should get that out. That sounded great, but I can't remember what it is now. This is the problem. I've been talking to people because lots of people are getting COVID at the moment, and people are going, "Oh yeah, the brain fog's terrible." And do you know what? I've still got it, and I can't retrieve certain facts. I really can't remember things.
I thought that was
or maybe it's age. Yeah, that's age.
Yeah,
no, I'd rather you said, "Yeah, me too." It's definitely the COVID. Come on, Don.
Well, that's exactly what it was.
But yeah, I would probably go for that. Dreadbox is always a good anything. Dreadbox.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just checking. Someone said, I think it was Andy Brooks, said that OMD used the Korg micro preset as their first lead synth. So it couldn't have been.
I think you might be right, actually.
That one.
Yeah, they were pretty crappy, weren't they?
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Oh, Moby 1. I think we missed a super sticker from you. I think the horn is overheating. Thank you, sir. And Loullamae is in the place to be.
Woo!
So, and Mrs. Wiggly, I forgot to ask you if you could bring your iPad.
I don't need that.
Well, I was going to suggest you might want to draw Nick.
Hey! It's like your dad, but with glasses.
Yeah, it is actually.
And a louder
We
shirt.
are right, said Fred.
And just less
Yeah,
shade.
do it on my phone. That's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, would you mind? No, that would be ace. That would be really, really good.
God, it must be great having production assistants.
I tell you what, if the mics work first time, it'll be amazing because it's a bonus because literally the talent never come up in time for the sound check.
My partner just came up and said, you won't be able to read her writing. I barely can. But the Mike Reed's thing is called Heritage Chart.
Heritage Chart. That's the one. So if you want to be in the Heritage Chart, get all your mates to fill in one of those online forms on Mike Reed's Super DJ Slightly Weird website. And you too could be in the Heritage Chart. So we'll get your iPad up. Yeah, and Loullamae was basically, let me pop her on screen, make sure she's in focus, was basically came up with an idea of doing people's Facebook profile pictures. This is Nick, can you hear me?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Plug you in.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it working?
Hello.
Yeah, hey, it is working.
It's the Road Gang. We've all got the same microphones.
Yes.
Do you want to put me on?
Oh, you're there. I didn't realise. I thought you'd gone to get the
No, I'll get
iPad.
it later when it's time. I'll go and get it.
Sorry.
Hi.
Hello, this is Mrs. Wiggly.
Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Nice to meet
Do
you.
I call you Mrs. Wiggly or
Can't hear anyone. I don't think my mic's
You got your
working.
headphones on?
No, that's probably why.
A common mistake. That would be cool, actually, if your mic did your sound as well.
Wouldn't it? Well, you can get those USB mics that have got stuff in them.
Oh, the
that
little
make
things on it.
They've got all sorts of DSP in them.
Hold on.
Sorry. Yeah,
Can
here I am.
you hear us now?
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hello,
Do I call you
everyone.
Mrs. Wiggly or is there another name I should use? Is Mrs. Wiggly the
No, Sophia's fine.
Sophia? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Everyone's big love in the chat for everyone.
Yeah,
It's really,
wow,
really good.
loads of
Smash
people
that
on
like in the chat. Oh, it's because Nick's really famous. Obviously, do hit that subscribe button as well. That would be really, really useful. Okay, so we had a poll last week about dogs and cats, and it was absolutely identical in that there were 45% dogs, 45% cats, and 10% not into pets. And no one actually said they didn't have a cat or a dog or like another animal. But at the very last moment, Neil Moran, I think, came in. Please be careful with that. And voted dog. So basically, there are more dog lovers than cat lovers in the chat at the moment. I think you're a dog lover, aren't you, Nick?
I've got a cat. actually.
Oh!
My cat's called Solo, and he's a handsome, large. He might come in at some point. He's massive. He's a cross between a Bengal and a Siamese, and he's got blue eyes. And just below his bottom, he's got a little white dot that makes him look like he's got
Like an
two.
on switch.
Yeah. So when he walks away, it's like you think, there's you've got something. No, actually, that's just a fur dot.
It's a double bottom.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say that, but you said it.
We do this quiz. Oh, by the way, I got a Wiggly hat. What do you reckon?
That's cool.
It's the only one in existence, which is poor planning on my part, so I can't say I'll go off and buy the merch.
Well, it makes it very collectible.
Yeah, maybe I can give that away as well. Yeah, we do this quiz. Have you seen it before?
I've experienced some of it. Yeah, so I'm
you know, kind of what to expect. I guess. Okay, so everyone in the chat, Mrs. Wiggly's in charge of keeping an eye on all of those. There is a lot of it. It's whizzing past really fast. So on that basis, if you know the answer in the chat, make sure you're on all chat rather than best of chat or whatever it's called. I can never remember, but you need to be seeing all of the chats it's going past. There are no prizes apart from the love of winning the chat, and it's all for fun. And sometimes if you think you've answered first in the chat, someone might appear at this end above you in the chat. It's a bit random how fast those things come through, but I'm pretty sure that Nick's going to get all the questions, to be fair, so you probably won't stand a chance.
Making an assumption there, I feel.
Okay, here are your questions with the lovely Loullamae. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Okay, so let's whiz back up here. Are you ready, Mrs. Wiggly?
Yep.
Are you ready, Loullamae?
Yeah.
Are you ready, Mr. Batt?
I am.
Okay, here we go.
What's the best name for a pet pig?
What's the best name for a pet pig?
I mean, the word that first came to is this? Do I answer this, or is this?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. You get the advantage.
I get a free go. Well, Percy. I mean, it's very
Percy.
It's pretty basic.
Nope. Paul, you can have as many goes as you like, though. Keep them coming. Pepper, no. Willy, Bacon, Pepper, Wiggles. No, Snorts is quite a good one. If you're watching on Facebook, as Peter Dowser is, and you want to join the rest of the gang on YouTube, you should pop on over. I know you may not be able to get YouTube, but there's more fun going on in the chat on YouTube at the moment. So just search Mr. Wiggly on YouTube. You should see the live broadcast going on, and there's a bit more chat going on. You might feel you're a bit lonely over there. Scratchings, Piggy, Porky. Matt Evans' daughter calls her Pig. Matt Evans has got a pig. That's cool. Wow. Some friends in Chiswick, when I lived in London, had two ducks called Thelma and Louise. They were house ducks.
Have you seen that video of the duck playing the drums? No. Just holding it over a snare drum, and it's just going.
That's brilliant.
It's good lols.
We could.
It says there's pictures.
Oh, that's the picture of the pig whose name we need to get. I don't know if we can show it.
That could probably help.
I've got a feeling the picture might show his name though, so it's
yeah, don't.
No, it's. I can only show the picture after someone's got
Okay,
it.
can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
Is it an alliterative name? As in,
what, like Porky? No. Okay. I'm glad you explained that though.
Right. Okay.
Okay, we're going to put the timer on it.
Eric.
It's associated with music.
You are very close with Eric, actually, with the E anyway.
Associated with music.
Ernie.
Oh no!
I can't think of any more E's.
Very
Eric,
famous.
Ernie,
very famous E in the music industry. Oh,
Erica. No. Oh gosh. I'm not doing well here. Elsie.
A boy.
A boy. Okay.
Oh, Wagyu! My goodness me, Wagyu!
He gets all the questions right.
How does he do it?
He does. He's a stalker. I mean, it is incredible. When our poor cat Frank passed away, he put a post saying, she was like 17 years and 8 months. That's really sad. It's like, how do you know that? And it was spot on. I had to look it up.
Best not to ask those kind of questions, I find.
What?
If you don't want the answer.
Very strange. He will be a mod if he's not a mod already. I'm going to have to do the modding next week, I think, because we need to give Inky a little bit of help in the mod wars, only because we got spammed a bit last week. But okay, well done, Wagyu. Eventually, just in the nick of time. Well done indeed. So, should we get to the next?
Do we have that picture?
We do. Yeah. Very, very good. Yeah, I have a picture of a pig called Elvis.
I would call a pig Elvis.
It's a really cool name.
Fabulous name.
It really was called Elvis because it's a neighbour of ours. There she is.
Oh, it's a Vietnamese potbelly.
Yeah.
And
he was brilliant.
He used
got
to escape.
Incredibly low voices, haven't they? They're quite small, but they've got the lowest grunt, I think. Yeah. Wow.
He used to escape.
No! Help! That's like a horror film to me. I used to be really frightened of pigs when I was a child.
Well, there you go.
But I like to say that a Vietnamese potbelly pig cured me of my fear of pigs.
Oh, sweet. So you just got to know a Vietnamese one and then thought, actually...
I was just in the same space as one and I thought, that's really quite sweet and friendly. It's not going to eat me.
Do you want to put the first picture on, Dom?
Well, it probably would eat me. But not,
feed me.
Well, not with malice. Just if I was there and available.
Just a little nibble.
No, but he did. He actually escaped from the house or from the garden one day, and he just went strolling somewhere, and everybody was looking for him. So Elvis officially left the building.
Elvis has left the building. Very good. Whoa!
It's much. You can see how loud Mrs. Wiggly's mic has to be because you can see how much louder the horn is in this room. Thank you, Adamski. You
need one of those drum screens for the live drum screens to put across the.
That's true, actually. Yeah, could do that little
whistle,
vocal
horn,
booth.
Whatever. Yeah.
Thank you, Adamski. That's wonderful. You are already, because you've donated before, in the draw after the quiz, which is coming up soon, to win these 2 amazing books. So thank you for that, and thank you for your donations in the past. That's really cool. So that's the story of Elvis. Have you got another question there, sweetheart? Yeah. Okie doke. Ready?
What's my favourite biome in Minecraft?
You should get this, Nick. What is Loullamae's favourite biome in Minecraft?
Well, I know some of those words, and I know what some of them mean. But I didn't know there was anything called a biome. I know about Minecraft a little tiny bit. I know nothing about biomes. I guess that's like a world of sort of thing. Is that kind of
it's an area in Minecraft. So you'd have a desert one, and you might have an icy one. This one, I have to say,
today I would go for icy.
Icy.
Oh, somebody's got it.
You are joking.
Yeah.
Kosh Kai. How did you get that, sir? Amazing.
Is it icy?
It's not. It's beautiful. I think I got a picture of that as well. I honestly didn't think anyone was going to get that. Here we are. This is what the taiga biome looks like. Lots of lovely trees. And what sort of trees are there? They're not oak trees. They're spruce trees.
Like
and dogs spawn there.
And dogs spawn there as well. So yeah, that is amazing. Kosh Kai, you are incredible. I'm really, really surprised at that. You even got it before Wagyu, who was immediately Googling the list of Minecraft biomes.
No, he does. He knows it. He just knows it.
Yes, of course. Well, I guess he does. All right, stand by your beds. Let's have another one. Hang on a second. What am I doing? Here we go. This is go.
Make up the next line of this song.
Okay.
Do you want to explain what it is?
Yeah, this is make up the next line of this song. So you read the bold bit, and basically Inky or Mrs. Wiggly together decide on the best next line. So do you want to read the bold bit there?
Yesterday a bird landed on my head.
Oh, it's hard not to rhyme head with dead, isn't it? But
Yeah,
I really
you're
don't
very
want to go
welcome
there.
to.
I don't want to go there.
Okay, yesterday a bird landed on my head.
I was thinking about you. No, that's not probably a good
I
place
had
to go.
we came up with, I guess she thought it was the moon or maybe a piece of bread. You don't have to go with
that's
that.
Good. Yeah,
Yesterday a bird landed on my head.
And I woke up and it was in my bed.
Cool. Okay, it's got that. Mrs. Wiggly. Grace Griffin is, so I ran back into the shed. Homegrown saying his name was
Oh,
Fred.
and told me that.
Sam says the jungle biome. I think you might be running a little bit late,
That doesn't rhyme.
but that's okay. Hey, Auxum, how you doing? I'm never going out with her again. I quite like that, actually.
Yeah.
Yesterday a bird landed on my head. I'm never going out with her again. It made me jump right out of bed.
That's way better than mine.
It's because I had tied my hair with bread. I
Could
reckon
have
we
had
should do it.
cornrows, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I woke up and realised I was
My
dead.
hat turned a funny shade of red. That's good from Grace.
My hat, was that another Grace one?
Yeah, that was a Grace.
All
My
right,
hat
Inky, I hope you're looking. We need another. There's lots of them. Whispered in my ear and said, "Oh, I do like that."
That's a good one.
That is wow. Yeah, that gets my vote. Whispered in my ear and said, "Today I found it in the street dead." Oh.
That's the first dead lyric, which is pretty good going,
exactly,
considering.
Exactly. All he wanted was to be fed. That's not bad. I swatted it. Oh no. Is that gin?
It grabbed my ears and fled.
Grab my. Okay, we need an answer then, I guess, Mrs. Wiggly.
Oh,
Got-
this is a difficult one.
It is, isn't it? I've got to say Grace's would get mine, but I don't want to influence you.
Well, no, I did say Grace was a good one. But, you know, they're all good.
They are, aren't they?
So-
Should we just give everyone a point?
Yeah, well, no, that's...
It's the taking part that counts.
It is. Kosh says she liked Grace's one.
yeah,
I
let's go
like
for
Grace's
Grace.
one as well.
Yeah,
Let's go
plus
for
one for
Grace.
everyone is saying plus one for Grace. Grace Griffin, thank you.
Luli!
There's a
No,
mosquito in here.
too loud.
Yesterday a bird landed on my head, whispered in my ear and said... To be
trick is the
continued
next line,
week.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well done, Grace. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for all your support. Amazing, amazing. Do you know Grace, Nick? Have you come across her? She does on-stage sound for these amazing people. Like she's done the in-ear mixing for like Robert Plant and Morrissey, and she's amazing. And I
She
always
probably
say,
knows my friend Charlie, who plays bass with Goldfrapp, because he used to play with Robert Plant as well.
I'm sure she does. I just imagine that thing when Robert Plant gives you that look. Points at, is it? Just kind of
Yeah.
turn everyone else down. Okay, ready? Not sure what's coming next, but obviously it'll be another question. What are the scores and the doors, Mrs. Wiggly?
Right, we have Wagyu 1, Kosh Dukai 1, and Grace Griffin on 1. Come on, Nick.
Come on, Nick.
0.
Come on, Nick.
I never said I could.
There's still time.
How many vodka keys are there on this Loullamae DX1?
Very well
How
read.
many voices?
How many Volca keys are there on
okay.
this Yamaha DX1? So I'm going to pop it up on screen just for a little while. Dub-a-dub-a-dub-a-dub-a-dub-dub.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Ooh, I would say 36 at a guess.
Ooh, not too far off.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. Let's just pop that on. I'll give you a few little interesting facts while we're doing this. Oh, actually, we need to check the comments, haven't we? I forgot about that. 41, it's not 36,
Oh, Ian
it's
J.
bigger.
Cole got it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well done, Ian J. Cole. I can't see you in the chat yet, but I'm sure you're there.
close.
Oh, 46. Well done, sir.
So I wasn't close at all. Thanks.
Well,
There's 10 out.
I appreciate more than one. Thank you for the gentle encouragement.
70% there. Just to put a few things into perspective, the DX1 in the picture, if you want to count them, I did count them myself. I'll pop them up in a second. Where's it gone? The DX1 in the picture can be yours today for the princely sum of $150,000. The Volca keys in the picture, I believe, is about $100, $120. I'm not sure. It's about £100 in the UK, so $120.
So
if
$4.5
you,
grand.
Yeah, if you basically sold your DX1 and bought Volca keys instead, you could put those Volca keys in line end to end, and they would go on for 2 miles, which is interesting, really. As they lose countless viewers over there.
I'm starting to fit. I'm being schooled in how to produce a show here because I need to do some of this kind of stuff because I just haven't got the bandwidth.
Of course,
can't manage it.
If you want to lose 40 viewers in literally one little section, just talk about how many Volcas to go end to end to the moon and how many DX1s you need. All right. So who was that won that?
That was Ian J. Cole.
Ian J. Cole, previous guest. Fantastic, man. You met Ian J. Cole.
He's New Zealand, isn't he? Is he going to post all the...
It's quite... Almost. He's up north. But that's Gaz, I think you might be thinking of in New Zealand. Not sure.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to... does he not post all the... Is he the chap who posts those fantastic pictures from of sea lions and stuff? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Oh, maybe. Oh, look, Inky says, my facts are awesome.
There you go.
Nice. I don't even pay her to moderate either. I'm not
She's
sure.
angry for a rise, obviously.
Ian, do you post stuff about seals and stuff? I don't know. Anyway, we shall see. Okay, we have another question, surprisingly enough. Stand by in the chat. Stand by, everybody. Here we go.
How many money have we raised for Great Ormond Street in Japanese yen?
Yeah, how much money have we raised for Great Ormond Street in Japanese yen? And that's before this show, so it's not the number I gave out earlier. It's actually before this show. To the nearest 10,000. I don't know, because yen there's a lot of yen to the pound.
Isn't it something like 1,000?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm full effect here. I am Googling when it's still not giving me the answer. So I would say, well, hold on, it's going to be about 70,000.
No, much bigger.
Oh, okay. I'm doing well. I'm available for pub quizzes if anybody, if anyone needs a member.
But the point is, these aren't meant to be that Googleable, to be honest. You might be able to get in the right.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
Oh, got this close one. Who was this?
97300. Should we give it?
That was really close.
Getsemani music. Yeah, we'll give that to you, Getsemani. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
It was 940,000.
And 66.
And 66.
Yen.
This is important for the kids, so that's good. Yeah, very good. I don't think there was anyone else that were close to there. We've got to get Nick. Nick's got to get one.
Not me.
Can't have Nick on the show without getting one right.
I feel like I'm making a very poor impression. Especially after the intro you gave me. I'm like, the only way's down, really, after that.
To be fair, yeah, I mean, the quiz is probably not really what you're being judged on.
I am a competitive person, though. I don't mind admitting that.
We should get Ty on for the next one, do you think? I'm not competitive! Okay, there are, what have we got? Literally a couple more questions, haven't we? 3 more questions.
Okay, I'm going to concentrate.
One of those questions... Okay,
it's a bonus.
Is a bonus one, and one of them's a blinking competition. So if you
might get that one.
You might be able to do the blinking competition with Loullamae. I'll give you a little bit of a warning on that, just to prepare your blinking.
Shall I hydrate?
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
What's the best flavour of ice cream?
What's the best flavour of ice cream?
For me personally, I'm a big fan of rum and raisin. Always have been.
It's kind of Loullamae's favourite.
Oh. What, that as well? So I've got the right answer. Fantastic.
Not quite.
Okay, well I would say either strawberry. Is it a fancy one or is it a basic one?
I would say it's fancy, actually.
Fancy.
Fancier than normal.
Strawberry cheesecake.
No. Good choice, says Grace Griffin.
Cookies and cream.
No, it is a plain flavour, so it's not one of those absolutely crazy posh ones, but it's quite an uncommon,
Obscure-ish
obscure,
one.
plain flavour. So it could be like raspberries, but it's not raspberries.
Pistachio.
It's a bit more obscure. Good, but no. No. I think you've gotten Loullamae. Put the quiz music on.
Oh, Wagyu.
No.
No. Wagyu.
It's not possible.
Yay!
How does he do it? I just don't understand.
Oh my goodness.
I can see him behind you.
That's amazing. I mean, and he didn't even like spam loads of answers. That's incredible. Wagyu, you're a genius. What's the scores then, Mrs. Wiggly, as we go into the final couple?
We have Wagyu on 2, Kosh Jukai 1, Grace Griffin 1, Ian J. Cole 1, Gatesamani Music 1.
Gethsemane, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm giving Inky 1
Okay.
point because she
She's
did,
inky.
yeah,
She's
because
great.
she's inky, yeah.
There's a bonus question, isn't there, Loullamae?
Yeah.
Go for it. Do you want an intro?
Yeah.
Do you want the intro music? I do
Intro.
apologise. Intro music coming up now.
And what's my favourite flavour of sorbet?
Sorbet. Well,
sorbet.
strawberry,
No.
No.
It's
Lemon?
more common. No.
lime,
No.
No.
orange.
No.
No.
Wow. Melon.
No.
Oh, somebody's got it.
Oh, and Sasquatch was first, actually.
Oh.
Sasquatch was first, closely followed by Azzy Head. Well done, sir. So quick. So quick. You've still a chance. There's a blinking competition. I'm feeling lucky for you.
I'm so glad you have faith.
Do you want to do 5 blinking competitions?
Best of 5. I'm not sure. Will I be able to
Point for
see
each one.
afterwards?
Point for each one. Okay. Are we ready? Jim Galoo, yeah,
Are
fast
we
forward a
doing
bit.
blinking?
Quick tip for people on YouTube who are out of sync. If you switch it to play at double speed, you'll get everything that you missed and it will catch up really quickly and then stop when you're totally in. It's very clever rather than kind of just dragging stuff around. Okay, you ready with the blinking? All right, let's... You're going to come in close. Right, there we go. All right. Are you judging, Mrs. Wiggly?
Yeah. So it's the 3 of you, yeah?
I guess it has to be the three
Okay.
of us. Are you ready? You say go, Mrs. Wiggly.
Ready, steady, go.
Oh.
Guess that's Loullamae.
Yeah, well done, Loullamae.
1 point for Loullamae.
Terrible, we were terrible.
It's the fan. I've got the fan going across my face. That's my big mistake. I'm turning it off now.
Do you want another one? Should we do another one?
Yeah.
Oh, give us a chance. I've got to do better than that.
Give him another chance.
Okay, we have the
Right.
fan on here. You ready? You say it
Right.
then.
Ready, steady, go. Oh, Nick's done it! There's that point.
He's in. Well done.
Gee, made the scoreboard. I'm so. Do I get to make a speech or anything?
You do.
Well-
you do. Over to you, sir. Anyone
If
you'd like
you
to start?
get another one, then you
be in the
tie
lead.
with Waggy
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, this could be the biggest comeback of all time.
on 2 points.
So where are we with the scores then?
So Waggy's in the lead with 2,
And everyone
and
else
then
got
everyone
one.
else has got 1.
Well, there's one more question
And a joke.
and a joke, but there isn't really a.
And logic.
Yeah, but that's not really to get a point, is it? I'm afraid.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yes, it is. All right, let's see if we can get Nick some more points. All right, are you ready with the next question?
Yeah.
You got that? Okay, here we go then.
What's in my sock?
What is in Loullamae's sock? Do you want to show the sock? Interesting.
Should show it.
It's
Not that you can see
not
it.
very camera
it a
friendly. If you
coin?
hold it still. No.
No.
I don't think you
Button.
can get. Oh, there you go. It's a out of focus sock.
The best kind.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, what's in the sock?
A marshmallow.
No. Nitrogen, a puppy toy.
Puppy toy, well, it's close.
It's not a million miles away. Oh,
gonk.
is that a clue?
Oh. A sweet
No.
wrapper.
No. Oh my word, that is a big clue.
Wagyu skin cells.
Skin cells.
Nice.
Puppy snacks, a hacky sack. No, it is to do with dogs. Hang on, hold that back a second.
Dog biscuit.
Not
Dog
a dog
toy.
biscuit, not a dog toy. Dog poo
Oh,
gun.
Wagyu, seriously? He's just too good for this quiz.
I don't get it. Do you want to show
Empty, I hope.
to be? Yeah, it is. Well, I hope so.
Well, it could have dried out
got it?
very, effectively in this weather. Obviously, it made a similar sound, but
You got it? It's right, stuck down the bottom, I think. Oh, that's so. Wagyu's jumped to 3 points.
there's no stopping him now.
There you go. In case you thought we were cheating.
Is it scented? What does it smell of?
I don't think it's scented.
Plastic. Okay, well,
Oh my goodness. Look at Wagyu's comment. Was that from Auntie Claudia?
that's insane, because about 2 years ago, when Loullamae first started talking about getting a dog, Auntie Claudia sent a book on dogs and some poo bags.
Wow. Is that one
And
of
we obviously mentioned it, don't because it's totally hard to hear, and we obviously mentioned it.
I still have them. I'm not sure
I
where
think
they are
Wagyu
now.
must have a photographic memory.
Or a big
Yeah.
book.
Either or
Or he works
He's
for the
just-
FBI.
going through all our streams.
I mean, he did go through a phase of sending me a little message saying, "Oh, did you have anything nice for lunch today?" And then I realised that he was just sort of
Just
because we used to ask that a lot to like.
There's a man who takes
Yeah.
his quizzes seriously.
He's that is scary that he would remember.
I think you need to get Wagyu on the show and
Yes.
ask him some serious questions.
Okay,
Good idea.
maybe he could ask us a quiz about ourselves.
Inky thinks he's
You
a
probably
bot.
do a lot better than I have.
Oh dear. Okay, so we have a couple of jokes. We've done the pet pig. Can you hang on to that for a second because it's really loud. Let's do. What do you want to do? Do you want to do Loullamae's logic or a little joke or
Joke.
Should
Are
we
they my jokes?
do? Yeah, your jokes are on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Where are my jokes?
Oh,
Oh yeah. There they are. Why do we have 3 jokes?
I had loads just in case we needed to have more than one joke. Anyway, do you want to ask it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did the skittle want to go to school?
Why did the skittle want to go to school? You get a point for this actually if you want.
There's got to be something to do with striking, I'd imagine. But
I've lost my question.
I don't know much about Skittles. It was right up his alley.
Oh, I
Assuming
almost
it was
deserves a
hit, of
point.
course.
Oh, yeah, let's give him a
I'm gonna give
point.
Nick a point for that,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, you're catching up, Nick.
Excellent. Where do I donate?
Oh yeah, it's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is.
Can I say it?
You can, because no one's going to get it. Shall we just time them out?
Because it wanted to be a smartie.
It's not that kind
Oh,
of skittle.
Skittles.
Do you want to do another one? Do you want another intro?
No.
Okay.
Why does 10 plus 10 equal 11 plus 11?
Why does 10 plus 10 equal 11 plus 11?
Is it one of those because 7, 8, 9 kind of answers?
Almost like that. Someone said they wanted to be Smarties. That's Sasquatch. Wonder if he said that after we said it. Sasquatch.
No.
Oh. Sorry if we've
I'll
robbed
give
you of a point.
Sasquatch a point, just in case.
Yeah, I think said give Sasquatch a point.
Okay.
Sasquatch got it. Sorry, Sasquatch. We'll
Sorry,
give you
I might have been chatting.
give you
at
a
the time, I
hooray.
didn't check.
Wow, there's a lot of love for Sasquatch in the chat.
Yeah.
Why did 10 plus 10? Why is 10 plus 10 the same
Why
as...
does 10 plus 10 equal 11 plus 11? Should I say?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
No, Daddy wrote it down wrong.
Oh, what should it be?
You said it. Why does 10?
Because my question is totally different to what you've just said.
Oh, yeah. So, no, ignore what I wrote down. So you did the right thing, didn't you? Well done, Lee. Anyone? 10 plus 10
Should I say?
equal 11 plus 11. The bat is stumped.
Because 10 plus 10 equals 20, and 11 plus 11 equals 22.
Very good.
Yes. I'm thinking it's Sasquatch.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's what he meant.
I
I don't know.
I don't know because I was confused about the question, so I didn't even check
I
the
think
chat.
my questions are blown away in the breeze from the thing. Okay.
Should I do logic?
Yeah. You need a pen though, don't
There's
you?
no chance for me, is there really? There's no hope.
Oh,
I think
no.
I've got 2, but
Shall I give Sasquatch a point?
Yeah, I would.
I could use your. Oh, here's a pen.
So that means he's actually in the lead now.
Sasquatch is properly in the lead.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to show up. Would you mind grabbing the iPad from me?
I could use your phone.
gonna be
I'll
too
go and get the
small.
iPad because it's better.
You've got to do
All right?
two
I
things
won't be a
anyway.
sec.
All right. Any questions for Nick? Obviously, fire away in the chat. We've got a few more things to go through, actually.
What?
At least I know what's going on.
Probably.
Was that? No, that was you.
That was a hooter. I got one of those.
We'll just await the iPad to come up before we play a tune from Nick. Can you give us all a load of points so Waggo is last? Please don't do that. We're working with such talent here.
I know. So you've got a budding ASMR.
Actually, I don't know if you ever tried playing a kazoo.
It makes your teeth itch a bit
It's
sometimes.
really bad,
doesn't
isn't it? What
Yeah.
do you do? No teeth.
I just put them behind
Put what behind?
my teeth.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so there must be something on my list that we haven't done yet to keep things going. We've done the wiggly hat. Ken Spong needs to tell us the 4 picks that he wants us to draw because we'll do Nick in a minute. We've done the blinking competition. We've done the pet pig. We've got another joke if you want, whilst we're just waiting for your iPad, which will be on its way any second. Don't tell me the thing's blown away again. It's down there, though.
Oh. I'll just use yours.
Well, mine's blown away.
What?
Mine's blown away too.
But that one.
Gale force air
He's a
conditioning.
big fan, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, yeah,
let's
I
see
know.
if we can see from this back up.
Why is
Understandable.
there old hair?
Old hair?
Yeah, where's the great hair?
Sorry?
There's hair.
Oh, it's my beard, my false beard.
Can I wear my beard?
Yeah,
Can I wear your beard?
you can try it if you want.
Yes, a hot
Okay.
beard.
What happens when it's raining cats and dogs? Good job we got a backup while Mummy goes to get the iPad. Brilliant. Will Joseph asking about the rest of Nick's journey. It will happen just after this quiz in about 5.
I
10
grew
minutes
a
max.
beard whilst you were gone.
Wow, look at that.
You have to be careful not to step on a poodle.
Is that the
Puddle,
answer?
poodle, puddle.
Ah,
Right, thank God you're back. This is Wiggly.
What's happened?
Dropping like flies. Dropping like flies.
Is it really
lost it.
gone down the...
yeah, we
All right.
need some organisation.
Oh my goodness.
Let's be quick because people actually want to know more about Nick than do the quiz. I know it's bizarre to imagine
No.
that might be the case.
Well,
All right, there
when
you go.
when you've got Daddy's jokes on the list.
I try. I hit him with the raining cats and dogs poodle joke,
Okay,
but it didn't get it back.
What do you see?
Oh,
what do you
Nick's
see
got
when
one.
you, what do you get when it? No, hold on. What do you do when you see a space man?
What do you do when you see a spaceman?
Any ideas, Luli?
What do you do when you see a spaceman?
Don't know. Is that how you
it.
spell it?
Parking it, man.
Yeah. No, P. That part. Very good.
Sorry, that was.
Oh, that is a good one.
That's
All
my
right, I'm
daughter
going to give
about the
Nick.
same age.
I'm going to give Nick a point for that.
Well done, Nick.
Oh, wow!
Sterling. Park a car in it. Park in it. Okay, Loullamae's logic. This is going to get them all back. Here we go. Stand by.
Logic.
It's time for Loullamae's logic.
Empty.
Okay.
Empty.
Take the Y off. It's empty.
Oh, okay.
Take the P off.
Empty.
Get it on the screen. There you go. This is logical.
Empty.
No, that says M.
Empty.
Did you rub the wrong one off?
Oh, it's
Should have been empty. Not to worry. Not to worry. We
Okay,
got
I
it.
understand.
We got it. Very good.
Empty.
There you go.
That
All
is
right.
that is a thing with multiple states. That's quite. How many states did that have? Empty, 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 empty. Like 6 states.
Yeah, way more than water. Way more than water. Right, we have a serious question from Mrs. Wiggly, which will drag us back. Or would you like to do your serious question first? And we'll drag us back into finding out about Nick. You've got to get that piece of paper, I'm afraid.
Well, don't you have one?
No, it blew away, and we really need to get that. And then we'll draw a picture of Nick in the meantime whilst we listen to Nick's track, and then we'll find out, as long as you've got another half an hour or so, Nick, we'll find out
sure.
a lot more about you, as we promised. Okay, so Loullamae's big question. You ready for that?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Have a look.
Yeah. What's the best pizza recipe?
Okay, right. Well, I actually have been making pizzas recently because I just got a pizza oven, a little one, in our garden, and I'm going to have one tonight. And my pizza will have mozzarella grated, mozzarella in a little bit of a chunk. It will also have a little bit of onion. It will have some sweet corn. It will have some spicy pepperoni or chorizo. That for me is my and it cooks for. It takes about 50 seconds to cook in my little pizza oven.
Yeah, Nick's got
delicious.
a pizza oven. Wow, that's making me hungry now. Really, really hungry. Right.
Yummy.
Yes. So just to finish this lovely little segment, we have
Your question.
Mrs. Wiggly's big question. Are you primed
Right,
and ready to
I've
go?
got- Right, well, there's actually 2 questions. There's my question, which is Mrs. Wiggly's question, and there's also Mrs. Wiggly's question, which is a bit more Mr. Wiggly's question. So Mrs. Wiggly's question is, knowing how busy you are doing all your shows and having to prepare for everything, what do you actually do to just get a bit of quiet time, hobby time, and if you do, what do you do?
Well, I go fishing when I can. Obviously not in this weather. I haven't been fishing for ages. Because we had 2 big shows, then we had a holiday, and then it got really hot and it wasn't possible. So I like to go fishing, fly fishing.
Oh, fly fishing.
I'm going to try and get Dom to come along at some point.
Can I
And
Yay.
what else do? I listen to podcasts, and just kind of chill where I can. sit in the garden, meet with friends. We've got where we live. There's a very nice little street that is just like a high street, and there's lots of nice things to do there. But it's very low key, so it's like a little village, but it's in the city, so it's quite nice.
Nice.
Sounds amazing.
So you do get to chill out a little bit.
I do DIY as well.
Oh, listen to this, John.
Yeah.
DIY.
My past, because I've worked in a variety of roles, and several of them have been involving that sort of stuff. So I know a bit about how to build things and make things. And
Oh, awesome. Maybe you could pass some
lay
tips to
patios.
Dom when you're doing your fishing.
About
yeah,
DIY.
sure, happy
Yeah.
to.
Change those light
Some people
bulbs.
can, some people can't. You know, it's just
true.
one of those
It
things.
is
Oh, he
true.
can. It's just that, he
people
doesn't
will.
really get round to
I
it.
don't want to start. Yeah, I know it. I'm the same. If you spoke to Jane, she would say the same thing about me. But I do from time to
You
time.
do some. All right.
Good.
So, shall we have Mrs.
Awesome.
Mrs.
Right,
Wiggly's
Mrs.
proper
Mrs. Wiggly's
proper question? Okay, here it is.
So, what synth did you use for the bass on Goldfrapp's Strip Machine?
Oh my!
Good question, Mrs.
I
Wiggly.
didn't play the bass on that. I'm glad you're interested.
Yes, you can
I'm
see.
sure it's been playing on your mind.
I know.
For, well,
I've been
since it was
dying to
released.
ask that question.
I didn't. I think it was Korg 700S. I think. But I don't know because I wasn't there at that point, which is I should know better, because what happened was I did the drums, the initial bass, the drum thing, and came up with an idea, and then when I came back it was like, look what we've done. It's like, oh wow, that's great. I didn't think to ask what they used, but I think it's either Korg 700S or it might have been the Polyvox.
It was a good sound. I was listening to it earlier today. Oh, that's really tasty. Yeah. So does that answer your question, Mrs. Wiggly?
Yes, thank you
that's
so
good.
much.
That's
Which of those two do you prefer, Sophia?
I actually quite like the pizza one.
Yeah, that is the right answer.
Very good.
Touche.
Okay, I am going to put on a little bit of Friday Fun Time from Nick. We're going to clear the space in here with the Wigglies. So say a big thanks to Loullamae, and thank you for all
Lovely
the
to
money
meet
that
you
you've
both.
been
Lovely, nice
donated.
to meet you, Nick. Have a lovely evening, and bye-bye, chat. Nice to see you guys in the chat today. Have a lovely
Bye,
hot
Loullamae.
week.
Indeed, Loullamae's probably about to jump on Mrs. Wiggly, as is the custom around about this time. There we go. I'm going to pop on this wonderful thing. We're just going to rearrange things, and we'll come back with your questions and
Right,
the
let's go and
entire
check the
history
table.
of Nick's life, I guess, in general.
All of it.
Okay, here we go.
Hello, welcome to another Friday Fun. So you don't do one for ages and then suddenly they all come along.
So good. I want that to go on for longer. I might find another one. That's
That was a bit meta, wasn't it? Yeah.
it was, yeah, I know. It was
My
lovely.
show on your show on my show on your show. Yeah.
Yeah, into
Random.
a great black hole. I'm going to try and find another one and put that one later. It's really cool. That Dreadbox stuff is amazing, isn't it?
It's got a thing, hasn't it?
Oh, right. Let's get rid of the other Wiggly boxes and rapidly try and get back in the real world and talk a little bit about, I guess, what happened when you got out of school, started getting into bands, and everything kind of started happening, really, when you got a little bit of money and bought some more synths and stuff.
Well, I mean, I just got sort of into it. I mean, I was, like I said, I was jamming with some friends, and I kind of was interested in synthesizers and recording, I suppose. And then sort of fast forward a bit, and I ended up, I was unemployed. I was a child of Thatcher's unemployment Britain, and I ended up on one of her ways to gainfully employ the unemployed. So I ended up on. She ran all these courses. It's called Enterprise Allowance. Or something
My
like
God, that's exactly what I did. I borrowed
you?
The Enterprise Allowance Scheme. They guaranteed 80% of a loan you could take from the bank.
that. Up to £1,000, yeah.
Up to £1,000, yeah. And I think I got more than that. I'm sure I borrowed £5 or £6,000.
Oh no, I didn't.
Because that's what I bought my Akai from. But anyway, amazing.
Okay.
We were
Well, no,
doing both the same.
before I did that, I did a couple of these courses, and I in Bristol at a place called Rizan, which is a studio. A guy called Steve Rizzo, who was just did sort of educate, and he showed me this sort of MIDI business, and I thought, oh, that looks promising. And so I decided to start a business. I bought an Atari ST, and I thought, right, I'll become a programmer or something. And so that's what I started to do.
Wow, that's a really similar story. Amazing. Because I thought, I'll set up a recording studio, and then just kind of ended up with a load of kit in my house without really knowing what I was doing in terms of, didn't have any premises or anything. But that got me on the road to kind of starting keyboard sessions and working with mates, really. People that I met in London used to come around, and I'd just make tunes with them, really, and make a little bit of money and do a bit of musical directing. But
Right.
yeah, it just gave me enough to suddenly be able to buy some pro kit, I guess, is the way. So that led you where?
Well, I was just sort of noodling around really, and I was doing a little bit of work. I've a guy that I knew called Fred. He's passed on now, but he really encouraged me to get into live sound. And I came to Glastonbury once, and I was just sort of hanging around, helping backstage at the acoustic stage, and he was doing the sound, and he said, "Why don't you come and have a go?" And so I did, and then he got me into doing live sound at a club in Moles, and I was kind of his protege, I suppose. And he really, really helped me, and got me on the road. He was a lovely bloke. And then I was just sort of working. And then I got gigs doing. I think I started off doing these programming riffs for a rapper, a local rapper. I mean, I'd done studio sessions, but then this local rapper said, "Oh, can you make me some backing tracks?" And I thought, yeah. So I was doing all sort of hip hop, and this guy had really, really good ideas, but he didn't. He didn't quite have the timing chops. His lyrics were great, but he got really sort of ahead of himself when he was recording. We couldn't ever figure out a way to record it. Anyway, we saw a couple of tracks, and then a friend of mine, or a DJ at the club I was also working with, knew him, and he said, "Can I have a go at this?" And so he got involved, and we sort of turned it into something else. And then he had a few more ideas, and the first one of those was La Serenissima, which was he worked as a record company rep, and his mate was a rep in Londden, and he said, "Oh, we should see if you can do an Italian house record. We'll pretend it's an import." And we went, "Okay."
Brilliant.
And then on the back of that, we also did it was like, "Oh, that Tom's Diner idea." We were messing around with that, and he said, "Well, while that guy's paying for this studio session, can you just mix that on the end of it?"
Oh, fantastic.
So I did La Serenissima, and then at the end of it I did Tom's Diner, and I was frazzled when I did Tom's Diner, because La Serenissima was quite complicated for me. I wasn't very musically inclined, and it was a sort of classical piece that had sixes and all sorts of stuff in it, and so we did them both in a day, and then that was that, and then they came out, and it all went mental.
Fantastic.
And then you're like, "Oh wow, suddenly stuff's happening,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty quick then, right? I mean, were you doing that for a long time before you got the opportunity to get that stuff out?
I suppose I would have been in my 20s by then. So yeah,
Brilliant.
I was messing in my home studio with a kind of Porter studio. I had a Tascam, I had an Atari. I also had when the D110 came out, nerdy people, that was the first thing that enabled me to have multi-timbrality, and I could properly MIDI stuff because I could have 8 parts and a rhythm track and a mixer and one effects, and I could basically build an entire arrangement out, and mix it. So that's what really opened the door for me, because it was like, wow, I could do all of this stuff, and I did.
Wow. Amazing.
As long as it was D110.
Even so, I remember I had a U110 and a U220, which I used for everything. I mean, when I first started doing sessions, I had less kit than any of the other kind of big guys around, but I used to really make the most of it. So the U220 and piano sound I used to use on everything. It's great, and you kind of get rebooked because no one really looks at the kit anymore. They're like, I just like the sound that's coming out of it. And, creative use of that stuff. Isn't it?
And in the meantime, I was still doing live sound and stuff. So I used to do a sound for a band in Bristol called Davidge, which was Neil Davidge and his wife at the time. And I used to do programming stuff for him. So I'd go over and help him on his sessions and also do their live sound. And he got a deal, and we went to kind of, that didn't quite work out. But then he ended up doing work when we were doing remixes, and we ended up collaborating, and then he went on to really great things and Attack and whatnot. So
yeah, fantastic. It is a great scene over there, really, really great scene. It seems to take a while for stuff to come out of Bristol, but when it does, it's really amazing. They take a while to make records over there, but really cool.
I just saw the chat go through. Matt Evans not long sold my D110, and I've still got my D110. In fact, the bass line on Tom's Diner is D110 bass sound, organy sound filtered down into one of those Yamaha Simmons SPM8 mixers, those rack mixers, overdriven with loads of bass on it and all the treble rolled off. And I think I might have taken it out of that channel and then back into another one and done the same thing again to get that real sort of
fantastic.
Maybe but it's definitely the D110 into the Simmons.
I love stuff like that. We used to get the engineer to sometimes, when they were lining the tape up, to just turn the bass, instead of lining it up, just line it up with more bass, if you couldn't get the bottom end off of something you were trying to remix, so like literally things like that. If you're just breaking stuff, if you want, you're just kind of using stuff that in a way that's just wrong to make it right.
I thought I'd done a kind of massive underground kind of really sort of super not pop music at all track, but I was very mistaken.
Nothing wrong with pop, honestly.
But they both ended up in the charts in the same time.
Fantastic. And did the phone ring and everyone started beating a path to your door?
Yeah. Loads of remixes. We did a remix after that was Tongue in Cheek, Forget Me Nots. So I think they were like, I've got a picture of it, so I've got a print out of the chart there. We've got 3 or 4 tracks in the top 50, I think.
Fab.
And then there's other remixes, and it just kept coming in, and we kept doing that stuff.
Were you managed at the time?
Yes, very poorly, I think, to be honest.
That's a shame.
That's the way. I mean, it wasn't like we weren't ripped off. We just
I
think things could have been better with what happened with Tom's Diner. I think it could have left me feeling a little more financially secure than it did. I'm not, but that's fine. That's just the way it goes. It's not a problem. It started the whole ball rolling, so that's okay.
So non-stop remixes, in and out studios, being a star and everything. Did you do performances based around that track?
We did a little bit. We had a very poorly conceived idea of a tour. We were supposed to go to New York and do a load of DJ gigs with a chap who turned out to be the son of a wealthy Colombian. We'll leave it at that. And it all went a bit weird. We just didn't think they could pull it off, and I was terrified because I hadn't played live and I didn't know what the hell I was going. I'd only done Tom's Diner, and that was what we were going to do. I went over with a guy called Chris Paul and Jay Mondi. Jay Mondi was a sort of singer for Jay Mondi and the Living Bass, I think they were. She was a glamour model, nice girl. But not particularly technical. Chris was really sort of on it, and we didn't know what we were doing. We were supposed to do all these gigs at sort of Frankie Knuckles Club and all this sort of stuff, and it was just really not happening. And we kind of, I think I lost my bottle, and everybody else was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. And we were a bit worried because they just didn't seem to have it together at all. And they were asking us for stuff like, can we use your credit card to get the back line? And I'm like, that doesn't seem good, does it? And this guy came into our room. He was going to take us shopping, and he had a big case, and he put it on the bed, and it had a very weighty metal object in it, and he patted it and said, "Security's going to be fine. Don't worry about a thing." And I was like, "No, okay." I don't want to be part of this anymore. This feels really bad.
Wow! Yeah, you could have been on those shows I watched.
That was an exciting. It was an exciting time. It was quite a thrilling thing. It just didn't go quite as we'd expected. But you
could have been on Locked Up Abroad.
I forgot. Yeah, no, but we flew into JFK. They sent a stretch limo for us, and we were driving in thinking, "Wow, this is pop star." And we crashed. We were involved in quite a serious pileup. I mean, nobody was hurt. But we ended up pulling into the Marriott in Times Square, which is a really fancy hotel. Yeah. We pulled up and it was like literally sparks, and the exhaust was hanging off the back of this stretch limo. And then we got out, and it was from that point on, it was just all went really wrong.
Oh, brilliant! Can you? I love those kind of surreal moments when that stuff happens.
Funny.
Fabulous. So I don't know if it was similar to me in terms of timescales. The bottom fell out of the remix market about a year or two after that. I can't remember. It died a bit when record labels realised what they were spending and what they were recouping weren't in quite the same leagues.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you were hit by that.
I don't remember. I think we did, but I think I was remixing till about 92, 93.
Mm-hmm.
Then we stopped and we went separate ways. I ended up working on CD-ROMs, worked on the Peter Gabriel CD-ROM. I did a CD-ROM, a kid's CD-ROM called Pause, which did really well, and we had a little company, and it was all quite exciting then. And then we sort of came back together. I got a phone call one day at home about 1999. Somebody, a lady called Meredith Chin from Warner Brothers in LA said, "Hey, are you DNA? Are you still mixing?" And I went, "Yep. Absolutely, yeah. What do you want?"
It's really busy though.
She said, "Oh, I want to send you this track," and it was Lorena McKennitt, which was Mum and Stance. And I phoned up Neil, who was my business partner, and I said, "Should we have a crack at it?" And he said, "Yeah, all right, let's have it go."
Yeah.
And we did it, and it went to number one.
Oh, fantastic!
It was like a Hot 100 airplay number one record. Yeah. And then so the whole thing started all over again.
Kicked off again. Fantastic! I didn't know that at all. That's brilliant. Wow.
But we didn't. We did it on our own terms because he was working, I was doing other stuff, and we just kind of like we'd sit there for a bit and go, "Is this all right? No, let's come back tomorrow." And so it was way more fun because we didn't pressurise ourselves, and it was like gentleman's remixing rather than deadline remixing. And we negotiated all our points. So we said, okay, well, if it does this well, it's this much. If it does this well, it's this much. And there's all these trigger points, and we did it, and it worked. So it was it was kind of lucrative at the time. But,
phenomenal. A couple of ones to throw in from the chat. Synth Addict, is there a synth or a synthesis type that Nick tried to like but it never worked out, and why? I guess the synthesis type more than the synthesis
type. It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I've recently, granular I never really got my head around, but I think I'm using it more now because I like frozen reverb, so I'm using that. FM, I like the sounds and I used it a lot. I have never really got my head around how to do it properly. I think the Op6 helped me. I made some sounds for the Op6 which I was quite pleased with. It felt more organic. I would like to get one of those actually because I think it's quite an interesting sort of window on how to work with FM. But
nice.
But yeah, not particularly. I mean, I don't know what other sorts there are, but they would get deeply into. I mean, I don't really kind of,
Fat Dust was asking a long time ago. Actually, hopefully you're still working. People like the Orb, Future Sound of London, Left Field. That's that kind
Left
of
Field.
your bag back in the day?
I really liked Left Field. Yeah, at the time, I liked Left Field. I like Bassomatic. I liked
fascinating rhythm. Still sounds amazing.
What were they called?
Dread Zone.
Dread Zone, like Dread Zone, all of that sort of period of time. Loved Frou Frou, which was Guy Sigsworth and Imogen Heap. Just stuff that's good.
Them were the days. Bang in your questions, and if I haven't read them out, I've missed them. So pop them in again. I think there's reverse verdict. What synth Nick reviewed that was way better than exceeded expectations he might have had. I'm guessing it's got to be the Timberwolf, right?
No, it was the IK Uno Synth Pro.
Ah, yes. I remember
that's still.
you saying how
I keep
amazing
forgetting
it
about
is.
that. It is absolutely It sounds great, really good.
Yeah,
and it's just got beautiful effects and beautiful. It's 3 oscillator synth. I mean, you can buy the desktop one. You know, it's this big. It's like 300 quid, 240. Absolutely worth it. It sounds fantastic.
Wow, you should be definitely on commission for that one, because I'm sure that's going to generate a few more sales. Is that your Desert Island synth choice, Grace Griffin?
Well, funnily enough, I did something with Batt the Band Lab guys, which was Dream Studio. And the synth I chose for that was actually the Polybrute, because it also works as a really good MIDI controller. So it meant that I could, so I think Desert Island Synth, one synth, I think it would be the Polybrute.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I've got the normal Brute, the original Brute, Mono Brute, or Matrix, is it like a Poly Matrix Brute, or...?
Yes, it doesn't have the CV stuff. The morphing is the superpower, because it's sort of like, whoa, this is pretty cool, actually. I don't know, but I think there have been sort of oscillations in the production runs about whether you get one that's really just spot on perfect and one that's got a couple of tuning it, because again, it's tuning and managing those 12 oscillators. I think they've got, it's tough, and the one I had, I had two actually, because I sent one down for a little Friday fun thing, just wanted me to use it, and they were both fine.
Cool. A couple more before we go back to the career. Synthetic. How long did it take to make the Peter Gabriel Explorer 1 CD-ROM? Love that one.
Oh God, that's funny, because I basically got, after working in remixing and on my own time, I went. We called it real. I went into real world time. So I was paid by the hour. So I was paid by the hour, which was great, because I was hired. It wasn't like I didn't ask them for a job. It was like, because a friend of mine, Steve Evans, was working on it, and he said, I need someone to help me out. Do you want to come in? And I could program in Macromedia Director a little bit, so I could help with the prototyping, because everything was prototyped in Macromedia Director and then turned into whatever it was that made it on the. And I. So it felt like a long time, to be honest. It felt like a really long time. But what I remember going in the first day, because I was thinking, right, I'm really going to have to kind of, these people are professional. I'm going to really have to get them, come up with the goods and really come. And the first thing that happened is like, so should we get some breakfast? It's like, oh yeah, okay. So we went and had breakfast, and they cooked us bacon sap. It was the golden day, and it was just like, wow, this is fab. But I still got plenty done. I did a bunch of. But it took a long time. I mean, these things did, CD, and it was a piece of art, and it was based around artists and art concepts. It was it really opened my eyes to modern art, and how, when you speak about the art form, like the artists that were involved in that, it really sold it. It's like the way, Damien Hirst is a great salesman of his own work, because he can talk about it, and there were lots of other people like that, and I'm trying to remember the name of the lady. She was absolutely amazing. She sadly died a little bit later on. There are lots of stories around that whole CD-ROM and working there. Maybe that's when
they were amazing times as well. I did a little bit of that. I was involved with a CD called Redshift, which was stars and planets and crazy thing. And it was made by a company who actually employed a lot of Russian ex-space agency staff, because the Russian space agency kind of fell apart. So they worked with the Russian guys, who were literally rocket scientists, incredibly talented, amazing people, on this CD. And I ended up going to Russia, because they would also have these guys, for some reason they had them editing the audio, and because they didn't speak good English, they would be chopping the ends of words off and stuff when they were trying to edit the chunks of audio down.
Oh, wow. So you went to Russia
I went to Russia back
that
then.
Time.
Yeah, and taught them a little bit about. Yeah, I had to carry a couple of Maxon through through the airport.
Wow.
Take these with you when you go, But the nicest bunch of people. Honestly, these guys were just incredible, and to see life in Moscow and around there for the 3 weeks I was there was incredible.
Because I know people who went to Moscow to work, on studio installations and stuff, a little bit later on, but still in that period. And they came back and had nervous breakdowns, because it was because of the way that the pressure was put on them to finish the jobs, because of the type of clients they were working with. It was like, it was gangster stuff, and it was really scary, because
that's interesting.
because of the way that the money worked over there. That's the way they just did it.
Didn't get any of that, maybe because of the way it was structured from a UK company kind of doing it over there. But what I did get was I had to dress as a Russian to go and see certain kind of monuments, and at the weekend they took me out. I made all these lovely friends over there, and they said, we'll come and show you Red Square and all this and that, but you've got to put this
wear a skin hat.
Look like one of ours. Yeah, exactly. Cool.
And rags on your feet.
Otherwise, they won't let you in or whatever. So it's amazing, really, really incredible. But there were a lot of big black limousines and shady-looking characters around over there.
I never went. The closest I went to was Moscow Airport on the way to Tokyo to do the ceremony gig once.
Right.
And that was mad. The Guinness Bar, the legendary Guinness Bar in Moscow Airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Take it back then to your story, and you've had the hits. You've had the second bunch of hits because you kind of obviously got that great work that then led to more chart success. What brought you round into journalism fundamentally? I mean, effectively.
Well, it was about the same time. We started Sonic about 94. So I came on it just out of doing so it was after the doing all the CD-ROM work, which was this massively an album work, which was these enormously long creative cycles that I found really tedious. And then you'd hand it over to somebody who'd cock it up. The business would be cocked up, and you'd find that basically, so and so's fallen out, or whatever. And it was like, well, what's happening to all the work I've just done? Well, we'll figure it. And it's like, so the web kind of created this idea of, I've got an idea, I'm just going to make a web page and put it online, and then it's kind of, there it is.
Yeah, like, totally.
From here to here is a very short period, very little planning, and we started off. So Sonic was initially. There was a guy called Andrew J. Cross who used to run a synth database in one of the universities, and he just took it offline. And I remembered it, and I emailed him and said, "Well, what are you doing with it? I'd like to put it back up. And he said, "Yeah, there you go." And he gave me a zip file with all the stuff in it, and that's the start. That was kind of the start of the synth database that then grew. But initially we were going for more magazine-y kind of. Sort of almost lads kind of mag approach, but that required a way more work than we had the personnel to carry on. So it ended up focusing much more on synths because that's what I knew about.
Yeah, wow, that's interesting. My ex-business partner ran a Maxim magazine in the US, and came when Maxim was, because it was a massive lads mag. When Dennis Publishing that he worked for was sold, he came over to the UK. With his the editor, that was like the ex-Rolling Stone magazine and editor, and tried to set up an online version of that over here, and it was just impossible, So even these days, with the right people, making an online version of that is just not feasible. You've got to concentrate on the niche.
I got a story actually. We because a friend, one of our business partners, was advertising on one of the Mirror Group. Papers, I can't even remember what it was, and he said, you should go and meet, and he set up this meeting. So I went to Mirror Group newspapers tower, like literally the one that was on the bridge when it was big Maxwell, during Maxwell years, where everybody was like a sort of chain smoking, whiskey swilling journalist. And I went in and talked to them about the internet and what it could possibly do, and that's one of the most uncomfortable and soul destroying. I basically came out of there it was like going for a job interview when the person just thinks you're an arsehole. What the hell are you doing in my office? You're wasting my time. Get out. But vocalises that in unfriendly terms. I remember feeling like I was just like, said if that ever happens again, I'm gonna jump out the window.
It's hard to do those meetings without eventually saying, and by the way, when we do this, you're going to be out of a job. Half the people in this room are probably going to be.
It was just so uncomfortable because I didn't know what I was going into, because somebody just said, they want to have a chat with you about it, and what it actually turned out is no, you've gone to pitch them something, which is not what I was prepared for at all. It was awful. It was just
horrendous.
Awful.
You're going in to do someone a favour, and they're saying, right, impress me. It's just
it was miscommunicated. That's the problem.
So that's the start of Sonic State, and so it all kicks off as kind of a big database of synths that's there, and obviously starts getting. When did you know you were onto something? Obviously, it starts getting some kind of traction. This is a while ago.
Oh gosh, I think that there were just lots of views. We started to get page views, and I think it just built up. I think we started to do news, and we started to figure out that we needed rolling content, and this was way before video, but I mean. the internet bubble was seriously growing, so we did okay on it on advertising.
Wow, that's
until
brilliant.
until the whole thing crashed, and then we didn't. But then we got into video around about about 2000.
I mean, it's a strange time when everything crashed and then kind of came back reasonably quickly. We found working in internet-y audio stuff, which is kind of where we've had it. A lot of our clients went bust. We were kind of an agency, I suppose, and so we were kind of okay, but everyone that was paying us to do work was going bust. And then when it came back round again, it was sort of a bit more serious. People were making proper money out of selling stuff on the web.
I think it was there was a lot of messing about with the markets, kind of building up a name and flogging it to people who didn't know any better, and then and then when they opened the door to what they bought, it just went up in a puff of smoke, and they realised they'd been robbed. Yeah, so there was all of that stuff going on, wasn't there? In fact, we went through that thing. There was somebody who said, "What, we should go and do that," but it was just. When I was in my probably mid-30s, I was not very confident. I was quite anxious and really socially uncomfortable, and because it was my baby, I was very uncomfortable with having to present myself and go and deal with those sort of things. And I missed the opportunity, perhaps, to probably exit with a certain amount of cash. I'm probably going to start it again anyway, because it really, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
That stuff's really hard. You can't. You've got to be right place, right time, and there's lots and lots of failings. It's impossible to tell, really. And also, it's when you do it, you think, well, maybe if I stick around and keep on doing it for a while, it'll be worth a little bit more.
Well, it's like, what am I going to do now? I mean, this is what I'm doing. If I get rid of it, then what do I do?
Yeah. There is that too.
I haven't got a plan. Maybe I should have had a plan.
Well, talking of plans, the BG Ollie, the amazing banjo guy Ollie, who's done just incredible music. If you haven't come across him, he did an amazing Dead Mouse cover using Irish original stringed instruments and stuff. It's insane. Nice banjo, insane. You've been on YouTube a long time. It's obviously a great additional platform for a musician or a performer, but what made you decide to do it in the first place? We've already answered that, so I was going to flip it and say, what do you see as now platforms that are upcoming, or what platforms are you considering, if you like, or platforms that aren't living up to expectation, really?
Well, I should go back and answer the question first, because I went onto YouTube first because we tried to do it all ourselves, but as soon as it started getting popular, it was so expensive in terms of bandwidth. We'd go away and do a trade show, come back, and then then we'd be liable for these thousands of dollars of bandwidth because people were watching the videos. So, YouTube essentially was like, well, we don't have to pay for the video bandwidth anymore. In fact, we started our own video YouTube site, our Sonic TV or Sonic Star, I can't remember what it was. We had all the tech. We bought one of those kind of pre-coded things. But,
oh wow!
Platforms that are coming up now, I feel. Oh, it's a bit like asking me what bands I like. I mean, I know I should be posting to Instagram. I know I should probably look at TikTok. I know I should do more, but it's quite hard to repurpose. I mean, well, it's not hard. I mean, it's just you need lots of people to repurpose things, get the formats right, put them out there in the right way, and then ultimately, when you do it to lots of places simultaneously, you're sort of diluting it. And then how do you aggregate that and bring it all back? It's harder. For instance, there is a commercial aspect to what we do. I know how to sell our banner ads, and I know how to sell show sponsorship, but I don't know how I would be able to sell all of those other things, and it would make things way more complex. So I'm probably a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to that, compared to some of the new kids on the block, as it were.
Just asked to follow up one about how the video format changed how your business operates then?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Well, I mean,
it drives it.
It always used to be I don't want to read it, I want to hear it, or I want to see it. It's so much easier. I can do way more in depth. If I had to write, because I used to do occasional freelance articles for Future Music, or I don't think I did Sound on Sound, and it was a lot of work for ultimately 1,500, 1,800 words, and it really didn't give you the it didn't convey anything. Whereas now doing it, it's much easier to convey what's going on. It's like when someone shows you how to do something DIY, and they say, well, you do this and you turn that. It's like, well, how hard do I have to pull on it? If I pull this hard, is it going to break? I don't know. You have the sort of musical equivalent of those sort of questions that you can convey much better in video than you can't really, you can't in writing.
Absolutely. Rotten Circus, thank you for the lovely post. No question, just want to say thank you for your very well made reviews. Super tasty and informative as well. Well, it's true, actually. There's a lot of people who message me saying, my overdraft is down to this guy.
Well, it's funny, when we were at Gearfest a couple of weeks back, there were just loads of people coming up said, yeah, I've bought loads of synths based on your... And I was like, I'm sorry.
What can you say?
Yeah.
I think also, though, I've avoided, people have avoided a lot of stuff, or stuff that isn't right for them, should I say.
I think that's a better way of putting it, because there's generally something good in every instrument. There's usually a thing that it does, and that's what I try and look for. A thing that it does, or a way that you connect to it. I mean, it's if something is so bad that I can't find anything about it, I would generally refuse to review it, because I just go, I'm not feeling it. I don't know if I've got anything good to say about it, and I don't want to just sort of go through the motions.
No, absolutely. But your reputation is one of a very fair, honest reviewer. So I mean, it's kind of good. That's rare. It's a rare thing to be able to do. To be honest, to actually, if someone sends you something. I think what's happened is the rise of sort of the influencer culture, which is fine and it's a thing, but we've been going a bit longer than that, and so but we're kind of thought of in the same terms. So everybody assumes that because we're in that strata of things that people just give me stuff and pay for stuff, and there is a bit of that goes on, but I try and be clear about it. I mean, I don't make a big point about it, but if somebody pays us to do a video, I'll pay. I'll tick the box, and say this is it. But ultimately, I'm not just going to do something because if somebody says I'll give you £1 million, well, I will probably, if anyone gave me £1 million, I'd do almost anything, I would imagine. But if say here's £1,000 to talk about this thing that is really bad and we're struggling with sales, I go, well, if it's really bad and I thought it was really bad, I wouldn't want to do that. What's the point in damaging your own reputation just to sort of give, and sometimes I quite often what comes up is people do Kickstarters and they say, will you review the prototype? And it's like, I'm not comfortable with that, because that's effectively like selling the investment possibility. It's a bit like that, and I'm not comfortable. So that's fair enough. I tend to not. That's a line we try not to cross at all. I mean, I don't think we have. As far as I remember. Absolutely. Oh, it's stunning. There were a couple of combined questions. One, can you plug the Sonic State compilation album plus pass them on the regards of the chat squad referees, integrity and honesty in reviews? I've done the second. The Sonic State compilation album is obviously out, called Sonic 1 on Bandcamp.
Sonic 1 Bandcamp. If you just go to I think it's bandcamp.sonicstate.com.
Yeah. And there was some questions before with regard to your musical output, whether you were thinking of putting an album out at some stage or actually getting some music out there.
Maybe. I mean, I occasionally sort of think, there's an idea I'd like to explore. It's really interesting. I think you've got to be, because once you commit to it, it does tend to kind of take over everything. And I just find there's lots of other things to do. I mean, I'm not saying I won't. I mean, I get my sort of musical kick and my sort of ego stroked from doing the Friday Fun stuff. And that's in the moment, and I'm not trying to make anything to release. And I occasionally put, a compilation of things together, and that's fine. But I don't feel I've got, I haven't got a kind of a thing that I feel needs to be heard. I don't feel we've got sort of a message to convey that I really need to do that. I mean, I enjoy playing synthesizers and making sound, but I don't think my musical output is going to change the world now. Obviously it'd be great if it did, but so I'm not driven in the same way. I mean, I'm not singing a song, I'm not protesting, I'm not. No. I don't have a thing that I need to say. Okay. So it's different. It's a different dynamic, I think.
Interesting. Okay. And I've just posted the Sonic State Bandcamp links into all services. So if you want to support that, that's good. That would obviously be much appreciated. And in terms of the future, really, obviously bang some more questions if you want into the chat at this stage, because we're beginning to wind stuff down a little bit. How do you? Where would you like to be in 5 years, realistically? If you're on the beach, or I mean, you said something very interesting, which was about what would I do? That's a really interesting take on. You obviously enjoy what you do, not all the time, I'm sure, like anybody. But I would like to get Sonic into a position that it's not all just about me, and it's a viable business thing that someone might want to buy, and I might still be involved in, but not
having to run the whole thing, and I get a lump sum that I can retire with. That would be the ideal scenario, but I mean that's probably it's quite a niche, so I'm not sure that that's necessarily going to happen. But I enjoy mostly what I do. I mean, apart from when it's 30 degrees in the office, and I find it very hard to do what I do. But it's mostly I enjoy it, and I enjoy the diversity. The thing that I enjoy immensely, as much as the synthesizer stuff, is figuring out how to do things. I really enjoy programming things. I like figuring out how to make the system work. I like figuring out how to make a new mobile rig for our show coverage. I like all of that stuff. I find really fascinating, and I really do enjoy that stuff. So that's where I get my kind of my fix, man in shed fix, I suppose.
If anyone's not seen behind the scenes, that's a good show if you haven't done it already. The stuff that Nick's put together with the team for kind of finished doing live coverage of something like Synthfest, where they take a video, chuck a memory card in a box, and it gets streamed off to various places and captioned and all sorts. It's pretty incredible, kind of Raspberry Pi based madness going on there, which is just amazing to watch.
Well, the cloud enables a lot more of these things to happen now, so there's quite a lot. If we had bandwidth, we could do incredible things, but quite often you go somewhere and you don't get the bandwidth you think you're going to get, and then you've got to have a plan B,
which is hard sometimes. Actually, plan Bs are with no bandwidth, it is plan Bs don't exist sometimes.
Well, people don't want to wait,
of course. Wagyu, the man sitting behind me. Aside from recent chip shortage related ones, has there been any synth Nick was told were coming out and they just disappeared into the ether and were never released?
Well, I don't know, never released, but Osmos is something that I think everybody is very keen to come, because that felt so much like it was it's going to change expressivity of synthesis because of the way that the keyboard is, and it is a beautiful thing, and I know it will come. It just seems to have been endlessly held. I mean, it must have been a nightmare for those poor guys and gals, because they were so close, and then COVID, then shortages, then all of this stuff. So I'm hoping that comes soon. But stuff that never made it.
Tempest 2.
Tempest. Was there a Tempest? Was there?
It was going to be a Tempest 2 for many years, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure, maybe that wasn't promised,
yeah,
actually. Maybe that was just people saying there should be one.
Trying to think about that. I don't know. I mean, again, my post-COVID brain fog is,
The lovely Maudio, I think he's been trying to ask this question for a while, and I've missed it. We've had the favourite synth, really. We had the Desert Island synth, which was the prologue. Sorry, Polybrute, not the prologue. Style's hard.
What's a favourite synth style?
Massive techno head?
No, not really. I like stuff that's a bit sort of more down tempo and spatial. A bit more sort of ambient. And I also really like sort of the kind of 5 elements modern production, where it's just there's so little stuff going on. Yes. I find that's kind of really interesting, although very difficult, and it's a dynamic. But it's tricky. That favourite synth style.
That's
Bossa Nova. No, I don't know.
Yes, cool. Rolling Steel.
Sorry, that's probably not the answer you want.
You turn me onto the 5 things. It's the Rick Rubin school of modern music, which is 5 things at the same time and no more. So kick, hat, bass, chord, vocal, and that's it. So never use more than 5. And actually, if you listen to most stuff in the Spotify Top 50 UK chart at the moment, it's pretty much exactly like that.
But that's partly because we're listening to it on systems that don't respond well to walls of sound. It's hard. It's hard to hear the vocal.
And you can make everything really loud. I mean, that's the main thing. Lady Aptitude, Solo the Cat.
I don't know. I might have one on my phone, but it's not. It's on a different account. So let me see if I can find. I'll just do a picture. I can show you my.
Look in the background.
There's my. Hold on. If I do that, it might come into focus.
There you go.
That's the temperature outside my house about 2 hours ago.
33 degrees.
Let me see if I do search for cat. It may well. It may well show one of the cats. There's going to be a few deceased cats in that search result. Let me see. Oh, it looks like...
Synthetic's saying it's Solo named after Han Solo.
No, it wasn't our name. Here we go. This is Solo the cat. Let me see.
Oh, come on. Yes, very pretty.
Sorry, it's a bit overexposed.
That's okay.
I'd have to adjust that a bit. Hold on, I could probably.
Oh yes, perfect.
There you go. It's not. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't named by us. Actually, it was named by the lady that we got it from.
Any Sonic Talk regular? They're all coming in now towards the end of the show. Just don't forget, whilst you're watching, we're going to give away these 2 books in a minute. I mustn't forget to spin the wheel. Any former Sonic Talk regulars you would love to see return? It was so great to see Mark Tinley back last week. Yes, it was brilliant.
Yeah, well, any of them are all welcome. You know, that's the thing. I mean, there's I don't think we've ever had a Sonic Talk guest that I wouldn't have on again. I'm trying to think. Sometimes you get a guest that's come on, been told to sort of do it as a promo, and perhaps they're not.
Oh yeah.
Really all that interested. You go, well, that's fine. See ya. Don't bother.
It was great to see. I forget the name, but Zanderbeans from Paulie.
Yeah,
I was
chatting.
They're
great, really great.
I was chatting to them on Gear Space. Yeah, Gear Space. Years ago, and I don't think I've talked to them for probably a few years after that, and watched them grow up really. And I was like, oh man, this is brilliant. It's great to see because the enthusiasm and drive was just brilliant back then.
Well, it was a kind of one of those weeks which happens during the summer where everybody's busy and it's like, sorry, I can't make it, and it's like, oh crikey, I've got no guest. What do I do? Do I do a show or not? And then Paulie had been in touch, said, oh, if you ever need a guest, and it's like, I don't know them at all. I didn't know any of that history, and it was like, okay, sorry, let's do it. And I just thought, I hope this is going to be all right. It was more than all right. It was absolutely brilliant. You know, really,
absolutely fabulous.
Definitely going to have them back on again.
Absolutely fabulous. I think it was the Poly 800. They were just doing these demos with the Poly 800. It just sounded amazing, and you could just tell there was something special about this person doing this stuff. Just so committed. No, brilliant. So that was last week, wasn't it? So if you missed the week before,
yeah,
Mark was on last. Yeah, so week before last. Go and check that. Oh, Rustic. That's an interesting one. Who is the most impressive guest you've ever interviewed?
It's really funny because sometimes you interview people and you think that's going to be massive, that's going to be huge. There are a few I could think of. When I interviewed Underworld, the guys from Underworld, and they'd just done the Olympics opening ceremony. I thought, how can this fail to be? This is going to be huge. It's like, yeah. I mean, the interview. I don't know if the interview was great. They were great guests. I really, really like talking to Rachel Claudio. I think she is one of the most... We always get really kind of spiritual and sort of into the philosophy of music. She's a really great guest. Who else? I really like talking to, Yoad about his track. But
that was an amazing one.
Frederic Vinvar. He was... I mean, he's the top draw LA session guy, producer. He's doing the kind of he's doing all of those 5 elements things. He's working at the toppest level, and he came on, and it was a sort of PR company hookup. And again, you just you think, okay, is this going to be all right? And then they come on, and you think they probably never, and they go, oh, I'm a massive fan, and it was like, okay, we're going to be okay. At least we're going to be able to nerd out. He was really good. I really enjoyed talking to him, partly because he said, you should send me some of your riffs, because I'll see if I can get them into the next Kanye album or something.
Oh, nice. Which, I mean, there's an offer.
Yeah, but I think he's a brilliant diplomatic producer guy, brilliant. I would have done anything for him. It's a really that was really interesting. We talked about some great stuff, and it was like, wow. But again, didn't really get all that much.
Wow.
Didn't get that much.
Wow. Well, I guess I'm going to spin the wheel and give away these books at last, because they've been there for a while. I'm just checking that everyone who's donated today is also on the list. Maudio is not on the list yet, so I will add you. Stand by, everyone, because I can't do this without just stopping for a second. Sasquatch is already on there. Yeah, everyone is now on there. So I'm going to paste this into this fabulous wheel. I'm going to share my screen. Here is my screen. Here is a wheel.
Oh, blimey!
This is the new. Wow. This is the new list, which now has a few extra on there. There is a lot. Now, this is everyone who's ever donated since the beginning. I went back through every single video.
Wow.
It was October, but I mean, this £6,000 since October. It's incredible, isn't it?
Amazing.
People are just fabulous. So the first book to give away is Synth Gems 1, forward by Vince Clarke, written by the wonderful Dr. Mike Metley, who is in the chat as we speak.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully, he was a minute ago. And yeah, all of this fantastic donating from people like Kent and everything, just absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to spin this wheel, and whoever it stops on is going to get Synth Gems 1, which is an absolutely amazing book. Even if you don't win, it's definitely worth taking a look at. So let me fill the screen with that and see what happens. Here we go. So this is going to be for Synth Gems 1. Where it stops, nobody knows. Brian Kent, Steve Austin, and Professor Dictabeat. Excellent.
Well, it wasn't Wagyu this time.
There's another one. All right, he's been a guest. That's really cool. So Professor Dictabeat wins Synth Gems 1. Let's just pop us back on that screen a minute. Okay. Professor Dictabeat was brilliant. He sent us a whole bunch of Lego for Loullamae, because he works for Lego.
Oh,
so
wow.
that is Synth Gems 1. Armando, his name is. Okay, and the second one is another amazing book called Push Turn Move from the same publishing house, forward by Jean-Michel Jarre, and the book is by Kim Bjorn. So let's spin it again. I'm going to remove the prof from this, because I don't think it's fair if he wins both of them. So here,
Wagyu gets the next one.
Well, I reckon he probably will. Let's see. Okay, I'm about to spin it. Here we go. Oh, it's so exciting. 10 mil. Is it 10 mil? 10 mil. Congratulations, sir. You are also in the chat, although I believe you popped off. I literally saw you say, thanks, I've got to go, about literally 5-10 minutes ago. So
it's like missing the last goal, isn't it?
It still counts, though.
The late
Still
comeback.
10 mil, thank you for your donation. Thank you to everybody on that huge list of about 80 people, I think, for the donations. And yeah, you're right, it was almost exactly the same spot on the wheel. I'll just make a quick note of that. Couldn't have gone to a nicer person. He's a lovely chap, 10 mil. Thank you, everybody in the chat. You've been absolutely amazing. If there's any last minute questions that I've missed, bang them in, and we'll just check. We've seen the cat. I think we're all there. Thank you so much for your time, Nick, as well. It's
no problem.
Really appreciate it. Obviously, you've given up your Sunday night, so I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
I would probably just been asleep.
Well,
I'm going to go and cook a pizza now.
It's a better option.
Hardly.
Oh, thank you so much. Love to you all in the chat. Please hit the like, and please even more so hit the subscribe button. Also, if you do not subscribe to Sonic State, please go over there and do it. You're about, was it 10,000 away from 200,000?
Yeah, we're a bit shy
Very
of 200k. It would be nice to get
push.
It's a slow and steady. We don't have these meters.
200,000.
Yeah, 200,000 is a good number.
Epic. So please tell your friends, and if you don't happen to subscribe, pop on over there. Also, we are a modest kind of 2,500, I think, but that's only one step back from 2.5 million. So it won't take us that long at this rate to be straight up there. So that's the way I look at it. Exactly. Okay, well, listen, thanks ever so much. Thanks, Nick, again, and we will see you all next week on another show with another guest yet to be announced. But thanks for all the support and everything. So take care, everybody. See you next week.
Connect so with the earth pipe, link up the harmonized, left the termite, but beyond obsolete blessings, our fright. We live a language and a lot more in us worldwide. Cosmic love energy, I go herbicide free, organically, me say worthwhile. Watch the way one of you teach term points in terms of definitions and some termites. Yes, I check the eye. One side is defined by one side the other. I.e. I am an ideas man. I assign too much of the qualities of my guy. Who's way back talking like there's two of me? One is a construct, one is a creativity. The supreme one, all encompassing information in and of itself most definitely. Come on the life definitely, most life definitely. Beyond the scripture, niceness can be. Blessed be, I continually, Mr. Pick up a being as the infinity.